vacation. Sick in the head, but see the crime's my medication. Live from hell, escaping the rise and set the pace in the vibe. What's going on, everybody? My name is AT from Headcrack Studios, headcrackstudios.com, and this is Kill Sesh, a one-on-one tutorial with yours truly, AT, aka Logic Kill. And today, we're going to go over the intro to EQ, basically learning the basics. All right. First and foremost, I just want to say Happy New Year once again to everybody. And I just want to thank you all for your comments and your likes and your subscriptions and all of the concerns and the questions that you guys have been giving me. Trust me, I love it. Thank you for help growing my page and my channel. So yeah, this is almost a continuation. So if you guys haven't watched the last couple videos I did, how to set up a recording session in Studio One, how to set up a mixing session in Studio One, then go ahead and watch those, because this is the same exact session, right? We're not going to be doing too much in this session, but I have it open for a reason. So how to set up a recording session, right? How to set up a mixing session. This is the reason why we have all the stems. All right. So right when you get down to the nitty gritty of mixing, one of the plugins that you're gonna use, whether it's in Studio One or whether it's a third party like Waves or UAD or whatever, Fab Filter, what up? Listen, one of the first things you're going to do, guaranteed, is EQ. So I just want to break down what an EQ is, right? I'll get into some theory, and then I'll just break down very quickly some of the components, all of the components of an EQ. And like I always do, guys, I'm gonna put a link to the Studio One reference manual, right? And I'll give you the page number where they explain the EQ that I'm using in detail. And the good thing about it is it's a pretty standard EQ. It's called a parametric EQ. Right? And that just means you can control different bands a lot more thoroughly than you can with like an old school EQ that you used to see on your father's little boombox set up in the living room. Right? So this EQ is called a parametric EQ, and I'll give you the manual so you can go in depth. Right? So first and foremost, let's get started. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is. Okay, got the L vocals from me, right? So first thing you want to do, and I'm using vocals for a reason, because vocals tend to need the bulk of the work, right? In my experience, not all the time, right? You can have a 808 or a kick that needs a whole bunch of work, but from my experience, if you're doing vocal heavy music like hip hop, like R&B, like pop, then you're gonna want to get the vocal right? So that's where you're gonna want to start. That's usually not where I start, but we can get into that when we get into mixing. But I want to start there because, you know, that's one of the most important things of a song. So here's my vocal track, lead one. I just want to go here. If you're on Studio One, you can do this with me. Pro Q, bang. Pro Tools has a search function now. Just looks a little different, and it's a little different. But if you guys need that, let me know. I'll load up Pro Tools and I'll show you how to do that basically. But and I can show you with that EQ. But look, so here it is. Here's the Pro EQ2. I love it. This is one that I use all the time. So first and foremost, we have this grid, right? And what this grid is just basically an analyzer. It's a spectrum analyzer, AKA it lets you see the frequency response of the signal. So we're playing my vocals. So if I press play, yup, mic check. 1, 2, you know what it is, coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need to do. So there you go. So on the left right here, we have the dBs, right? And you can change it. I don't really see a need to change it. Unless you're getting into some dynamic heavy stuff. I honestly just leave it on this grid because I like the options. So you got -18 all the way to +24. So you'll know, how loud your vocal is getting, and you'll know in certain frequencies, right? And I'm gonna get into that right now. So going from the left to the right, you have 0 here, you have 50 hertz, 100 hertz, 200 hertz, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and so on, right? So these are the frequencies, right? And this is basically the frequency spectrum of the human hearing. Human hearing is basically 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Sorry, got tongue tied. So I know this is a lot, so trust me. That's why if you guys are going to study anything, study EQ and compression, and I'll get into compression. And I've also covered compression pretty in depth in my my older video where I covered the Waves C1 compressor. Every modern compressor, right, basically resembles that compressor. So if you can get your head around that one, you can get your head around pretty much all compression. Same with this. A lot of EQs look like this, and that's for good reason, because it works, right? And if there's anything to study, guys, those are the two biggies, because everything kind of stems off of those. All right, so I know I go off in tangents. I'm sorry for killing you guys on time. I'm trying to make this quick, but I want you guys to know stuff, man, because I want you guys to put out some fire. So these are the frequencies, right? So this is low, this is high. So now we get into LLC, phase linear low cut active. What this means, what phase linear it basically is in a nutshell, from my experience, is it's more subtle on the ears, right? And I'll just show you. Yup, mic check. So if we activate it, now we got it at 20 hertz. So that's 20 hertz, right? Basically where it stops, and then it's going all the way from 0 to 20 hertz. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is, coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need to do. So in my opinion, it's a little more subtle than if I went down here to the low cut filter, right? And I was hoping for it to come up. There it is, low cut frequency filter active. So this, guys, if you ever heard, all my producers and engineers out there, if you ever heard anybody talk about filters, this is what a filter is. When I remember being in school and hearing, or just starting off really early in my career and hearing filter, and I'm like, what? I always thought of a coffee filter or something like that for some weird reason. But yeah, guys, it's just this. So starting off at 75, so you can move it, right? And then what you call this is a low cut filter or a high pass filter, right? Because you're letting all the highs pass through. You get it? So here's all the lows being cut. Here's all the highs that are getting passed. There you go. So either a low cut or a high pass. All right. So, right, starting off, we got it. You got your slope, right? Now, this goes by dBs per octave. Basically, it's how steep. Right, like I said, you're gonna have the manual in the description, so you guys can really learn the theory and like the nitty gritty about this. It's basically how many dBs it goes down per octave of the frequency of the signal. It's a lot of intricacies that we don't need to go over right now. What we just need to know is this is the slope, and this counts, right? So I pretty much leave it there. So the more steep the slope, the more aggressive the EQ. So let's go ahead and make this obnoxious, and we'll listen to it. Yup, mic check. Off. 1, 2. You know what it is, coming through. Kill set. All right, now let's turn it. Let's play it again, and I'm just going to turn it to 12. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is, coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need to do. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. All right, so you guys get it, right? The more steep it is, basically, the less play you're giving it, right? Because when I go back to 6, it's way less aggressive. It's still at 1.27K, right? Right here, where the EQ stops. But you see how the curve is allowing a lot more lows, right? The 200 and on to come in. If we go back up, it's steep. It's stopping at 1K, and we're up at 1.27. So nothing's getting through. So basically what you guys need to know is like, how aggressive do you want the cut to be? Rule of thumb is 12, kind of. I play with it. It just depends on the frequencies I'm messing with. But this is a good one, guys, and I'm giving you just a quick rule of thumb. Typically, the plosives are around the 120 hertz, give or take. So that's kind of where you want that for vocals. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through. And we'll get into this when I do a tutorial on mixing vocals, doing a quick mixing vocal chain. All right, so now we got that one, right? So now we got our low frequency. Come on, pop up. All right, it's not gonna pop up for me, cool. So this is our low frequency, right? So this band controls our low frequencies, and it can go all over the place. But the reason why they do it is so so it could differentiate, make it easy on you. And what this is called is a bell curve, right? Because it looks like a bell. And now this is where we get into the Q. And I'm just gonna keep referencing the manual, guys. It'll explain what Q is in way more detail. And trust me, in school they broke it down to us like what a Q is, and it was good for quizzes and notes. But listen, all you need to know is how narrow or how wide you want your bell curve, right? So more narrow, in my opinion, more narrow is really good for low end. And this is a good rule of thumb, guys. Around the 300 to 500 is where you'll get that boxy muddiness, right? Quote unquote. That's what engineers use a lot. So let's go ahead and sweep it real quick. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need. There's that boxiness. So we go ahead and press Command and take it down. And I don't mind keeping it as wide, and you just listen to it. Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need. So there you go. Like I said, I'm not going to really mix right now. But there you go, guys. So that's basically the bell curve, right? And that's your low frequency. So now you got your mids. And you see how I'm all the way in the mids here? So I typically like to use this one for the lows. If I do any cutting, so let's turn that on. If I do any cutting, let's say I did cutting around 228. Now we got our low mid. Sorry, we're going to use the mid later. We got our low mid, right? Same exact thing. Bell curve, your Q, and the frequency that you want, right? And this is a good practice, just to kind of sweep. So, same thing for the mid. Bell curve, Q. Same thing, high mid. There you go. So now, we got our last one, our high frequency, right? So now we can turn this into a boost or a cut. And what this is a shelf, right? Oh yeah, sorry, this is the shelf. Here's the cut that I was thinking of. All right, so here's the high frequency shelf. So this doesn't have the end of the curve like the bells do. If you see, let me take all these off. If you see, if I move the frequency, it's just, it goes up and it goes flat, right? So that's what you call a shelf, because it honestly kind of looks like a shelf. And this is really convenient when you want to boost a lot of high end, or you want to boost a lot of, obviously some high end in a lot, like vocals is kind of nice to get some air, and I would use this from time to time, right? So the counter to that is our high frequency cut or our low pass, right? Because now we're letting all the lows pass. And this is what you'll use to cut a lot, some harsh high frequencies. I don't use this a lot on vocals unless I'm doing like a radio effect. Like, yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through. Kill Sesh, giving you what you need to do. Like that Drake underwater effect. Yup, mic check. 1, 2, you know what? And I mean, you can even do it on a beat. Now I'm just getting happy with you guys, All right, wait. I think Drake wants to get on this beat. All right, Drake wants to get on this beat, guys. There you go. Now Drake can sing on it. Yeah. So you can have some fun with EQ, man. I'm telling you, EQ is powerful. So let's go back to my vocals. And yeah. So now we got that one, right? So we got all that out the way. So if we wanted to just, yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through.
Let's go ahead.
Kill Sesh, giving you what you need to. Yup, mic check.
See?
1, 2. You know what it is coming through. Kill Sesh giving you. And the thing I like about this EQ, some of the older ones, or some different ones, have you married or locked to this frequency range. This EQ lets you just travel everywhere. They just set the quick parameters for you. And that's pretty much it, guys. Honestly, these are all the knobs and bells and whistles, and a lot of EQs are like this. Oh, and sorry, the high frequency cut, same thing. You have the steepness of your slope. And same thing applies on the high frequency cut. The more steep it is, the more harsh it is, the less resonance, like the residuals of the high end you're letting in. It's basically like a brick wall, right? You see how I'm letting in, it's cutting, but I'm still letting some high end in. If I go all the way to 48, poof, everything's done, right? So, last but not least.
Yup, mic check.
These meters. This is your input, and this is your output. So if I turn the gain down.
Yup, mic check. 1, 2.
Now you can see the input stays the regular signal. Output, we have it super low, right? And this helps because if I did like a normal EQ, right? Let's just do it quick and dirty. Let's actually leave it like this, right? And let's keep this as is. Let's turn this. No, let's not do that one. Let's turn this one down. All right, so now we did some effects, right? Now, look at the difference between the input and the output.
Yup, mic check. 1, 2. You know what it is coming through.
Not a lot, but still, the effect, the vocal changed a lot.
Yup, mic check. 1, 2.
So we kind of want to maybe get some gain, right?
Yup, mic check.
Turn it up.
1, 2.
So that helps when you're doing a lot of subtractive EQ, and I'll tell you about that later in another video about how to just do a quick vocal chain. But when you're subtracting a lot of these frequencies, it will turn the level of the signal down. So yeah, guys, that's it. Like I always say in all my videos, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please don't hesitate to ask me. Hit me up in the comments, DM me. You can email me, whatever works for you. Just please let me know. And if you like this video, please, the YouTube spiel, like, subscribe, hit the notification so we can keep this page going, this channel going, and we can keep these tutorials coming. And if you guys are looking forward to me showing you a vocal chain, go ahead and let me know that too. And let me know any other videos that you want me to do, because I'm more than happy to do them because I love what I do and I love helping you guys. So once again, this is the intro to EQ, just basically learning your way around it. And there you go, guys. Happy mixing, happy music making, and let's get it. It's 2021. We got stuff to do. Holla.